I wanted to talk about my experience being a light-skinned biracial. I know a lot of people consider biracials in general to be light-skinned usually, especially if they're black and white, because with biracials who are black and Asian, black and Indian, black and Hispanic, I guess they tend to be on the more browner end. When people think of white and black biracials, I guess they tend to think that they're more on the lighter end, So I guess people tend to think of biracials in general as light-skinned. To me, I think of skin tones in terms of categories. I really break it down. Some people just think of it as just dark and light. To me, biracials like Halle Berry and Barack Obama, they don't really come across as light skin to me. I think of them like as brown. They're not dark brown, but just medium brown. And like Doja Cat and Zendaya, to me, they're more like tan. Tan is technically a type of brown, but to me, tan is like its own kind of thing. It's its own category. To me, light skinned is yellow, very light tan, porcelain, ivory, yellow and white shades. I know other people include other shades as light skinned, like tan shades, reddish brown, anything that is not, the darkest end of shades. Me, I really go into it. So like dark, obviously would be like coffee and dark chocolate. Milk chocolate to me is like kind of like a medium brown color. I don't see it specifically as dark. It's kind of like medium brown, dark but not dark. Caramel and butterscotch, tan shades. It's, to me, I still consider it medium, but on the lighter end. But yeah, I wanted to talk about my experience. Like, as a child, I never really thought of my skin tone. I saw that my dad was dark-skinned, I remember when I was little, I was like 5 or 6, I was in the bathtub, and then my dad's friends or relatives, I don't know who they were, they came to visit. That's the only time I remember ever seeing them. But yeah, they wanted to come look at me or something. I don't know. I thought it was kind of strange. But I was in the bathtub. They came in. I was taking a bubble bath. They were just looking at me. They're like, "Oh, she's beautiful." They're just kind of like staring at me. And I think they were saying something about my skin tone. Like, I was like really yellowy. I think they were saying. So yeah, that kind of stuck in my head, because before that I never really thought of my skin tone as far as being mixed. I just kind of had like an odd feeling about it. But yeah, that's the first time my skin tone ever came up. Like, my dad's relatives, they never said anything about my skin tone. They never hyped it up or specifically like complimented my skin tone, A lot of people who are light-skinned in the black community, they talk about growing up and dealing with like jealousy and those kind of issues. I've never really dealt with that. But the school I went to, there were hardly any black kids. You know, the black kids that were in my class, we were friends, you know. Like I remember in third grade, there was one black girl in my class. We were really good friends. In fourth grade, there was another black girl in my classroom. We became like best friends. We were friends, you know, for a while until she moved away. Like she lived near me as well, but yeah, we both moved away. In fifth grade, there was a couple black girls in my class. We were cool, you know, and they would like play in my hair and stuff. So yeah, I've never really experienced anything like that. You know, people talk about jealousy. I've never really experienced anything like that. And I had a lot of cousins on my dad's side who were black. Everything was cool, you know, we got along really well. They were really nice to me, and I was like one of the youngest, or if not the youngest, so, you know, I was like the baby. I do remember my mom. Sometimes I would have an issue. A couple times I had an issue in school, in my class, with some other girls, and, you know, I would tell my mom about it, and she would always go to, oh, they're jealous. I never really got the sense that that's what it was. And again, it wasn't with black girls, because I didn't go to a predominantly black school. Like, it was predominantly white, and then there were other ethnicities, kids from other backgrounds, like some Middle Easterners, some Hispanics. But yeah, well, my mom would just go to, oh, they're jealous. You know, I didn't really like it. I never felt like that's what the issue was. So it was kind of like just brushing off the issue and validating the issue, you know. So, yeah, like I remember it was first grade, and I had on a black and red outfit, and then one of the girls was like, oh, whoever wears black or red, that means that you are the devil or something like that. So I had on black and red, so yeah, I told my mom about it, and she was like, oh, they're jealous. But yeah, growing up, I never really thought of skin tone like that. Like I said, I had black friends, friends who were dark skinned. I never thought, oh, my skin tone is better, or oh, I'm better because I'm light skinned. Like, that's not anything I ever thought. I did come to the realization that light skinned is touted, but I didn't really think of myself as light skinned. I thought of myself as like tan, honestly, because, you know, when I was a kid, I was outside a lot, so I was tan for a good part of the year, and then it takes a while for a tan to fade. So yeah, I never really thought of myself as light skinned. I thought of myself as tan. I didn't think of my skin tone as anything special. I thought it was like insignificant, mute, you know. I guess I kind of had a low self-esteem. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, my feelings toward my skin tone, they weren't positive and they weren't negative. To me, it was just like, whatever. I guess I remember in elementary school noticing other skin tones, again, predominantly white, some Asian, some Middle Easterns, some Hispanics. I never really thought, oh, which skin tone is better, you know, that type of thing. I guess I kind of remember being proud of being like bright yellow like I was. Like being happy about it, I guess. Really only the Hispanic students and Indian students would be browner, not all the time. But yeah, the other students there were the white students and then some Middle Eastern, some Asians. They would, I found they were usually on the lighter end. So I'm like, it's not really something I paid any attention to, maybe like once or twice. When I came to the realization that light skin was pedestalized, was touted, I didn't even think it was like pale skin, like white people. I thought it was like very, very white, yellow, that type of thing. I thought, oh, that's what people see as the pinnacle. Teenage years, same thing. I kind of just felt like a wallflower. I didn't feel like my specific skin tone was touted. I've always felt different from everyone else, but not specifically like special or because of my skin tone. Even around other biracials, I've always felt different. When I came across biracials in adulthood, in work setting or whatever. I've always felt different from them as well. And I don't know why that is. I don't know, is it because I'm really light, or is it because I'm ambiguous looking, or is it because of my background, is different than the norm. I'm half Eastern European. Is it because around here in the US, the majority of people have a Western European background? I don't specifically know what it is, but I've kind of always felt like I stand out and don't really like it, I guess. So I kind of just try to dim myself and try to fit in. Late teenage years, early adulthood, going into college, I started to get more into my appearance, into fashion, into my looks, and I really started to appreciate my skin tone. I thought everything about me, my looks, came together well. And I moved to the city. I got exposed to different things. In Minneapolis, I see some dark-skinned black people, some light-skinned black people. With light-skinned black people, I don't really think that, oh, they must be mixed, unless, their facial features and their demeanor give that, because I can usually gauge if someone is mixed race, but yeah, there are light-skinned black people as well, and I always thought, like, why are they light-skinned? Is it an adaptation, or is it because they're not in the sun as much as they would be in Africa? Because we have Native American communities here as well, and a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time, the Native Americans will be lighter skinned as well. I don't specifically think, oh, they must be mixed. I would think, like, is that an adaptation, or is that because they're not outside in the sun, all day, that type of thing. So yeah, I would say maybe 30% to about half of the African Americans I see around here are of a lighter hue. And then, there's dark-skinned African Americans as well. So when people act like light skin is precious, I never really get it. Like, by the standards of what a lot of people consider light skin, the majority of the world is light skinned. The whole thing that light skin is more of a thing than dark skin, yeah, I don't really get it. Dark skin is beautiful, light skin is beautiful. Would I want to be dark skinned? No, but I wouldn't want to be white skinned either. Like, I don't know, like Jennifer Aniston or Michelle Pfeiffer. I like my skin tone, light skinned. But I wanted to talk about the situation with the lady who made a TikTok, a light skinned lady. I think she's biracial. She's really light and she's got kind of like lightish brown hair and bluish green eyes. So yeah, apparently she's like 50. She made a TikTok video. She was talking about black women being jealous of her, I guess. I don't know if it was specifically black women, but anyway, she was talking about how she was with a group and there was a man giving her all the attention and he didn't give any of the other women attention. And then she was like, they were acting weird towards her after that and that type of thing, whatever. Then there were black women making TikToks in response, like they were digging up old pictures of her when she was overweight and they were trying to say, who's going to be jealous of you? You're 50, that type of thing. Like, no one is jealous of you, ma'am. So my take on that is, like I've said, I've never really had jealousy issues with black women. Like, I've had co-workers who were black, supervisors who were black. Like, I never really had an issue with them. Like, I've always found black women as pleasant, positive. Like, I've always been nice. Like, I've not really had an issue. I've had best friends who were black when I was a kid, so I've had experiences with black women that were annoying, like a couple times. I kind of just brushed it off. I never thought like, oh my God, that black woman, with that type of thing, I thought maybe it's like insecurity or, some sort of issue in their lives. I don't feel like I've specifically have had jealousy issues with black women. If I did, I'd probably just brush it off. Like, I'm not confrontational. Like, I try to avoid conflict. Maybe that's not good of me. Maybe I need to be more assertive and stand up for myself. I don't know. I'm kind of like shy and like I just try to stay out of drama. But yeah, even if I did think that, even if there was a black woman that was jealous of me, like, maybe I would try to understand where it's coming from. I don't think it would be something where I think it would be worth coming online talking about. You know what I mean? And again, maybe that's a fault of mine. Like I said. But yeah, I don't think that's something that's worth dwelling on. And to me, it's like, whatever. Like, I literally don't think I would care that much. Like, in my opinion, I would think you must not have that much going on in your life. You must not have that much going for you to, dwell and ponder on that. That's kind of how it comes across to me. But, maybe this Tamika lady, maybe she was bragging. Like, oh, I got that man's attention, and out of all the women, maybe she was bragging. I don't know. But yeah, at 50, I don't think I'd be talking about that at 50. Seems a little bit immature, in my opinion. I feel like that lady is just trolling or something, or trying to get attention. The black women responding seemed kind of redundant to me as well. Like, they dug up some old pictures of the lady Tamika who made the TikTok, showing that she was overweight. But the black woman who was making the TikTok, she was also overweight. So it was like some sort of cognitive dissonance. And like, if there was a white woman, saying, like, making those sorts of statements like, oh, people are jealous of me, yada yada, I don't think I would care at all. Not one iota. I would think it was just ratchet, Be like, this is just a ratchet situation. I don't think I would pay attention to it. I'd be like, okay, that's your experience, that's what you think, whatever. So if there was a white lady and she was going on about how people were jealous of her because of her white skin and her blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever, to me, going in and being upset at that and complaining about it and like, oh, no one is jealous of you, it seems like a sense of jealousy. Like, the way I see it is, I don't care. That's their experience. That's what they think. To me, it's not interesting. Have I found men have a preference for lighter skin? Yeah, I've found men have a preference for lighter skin with black men. I don't know about other races, but black men, I found they have a preference for lighter skin. And I'm not talking about all black men. I'm talking about my experience. In my experience, they like to hype up light skin and fawn over it. I don't really like it. To me, it seems like harmful. It seems unwanted. That's not anything I've ever found flattering. So that happens a lot in the black community, people hyping light skin, fawning over light skin. I think it would be creepy for anyone to get that amount of attention. Light skin is one component of myself. Do I like it? Yes. Do I think it looks good? Yes. But I don't like someone specifically pointing that out and approaching me based off of that. It feels like fetishization, I guess. To each their own. I'm not into it. Like a dark-skinned man approaching me, pointing out my skin tone. I don't really get it. Like, why can't I just be a beautiful, interesting woman? I don't really get the skin tone dynamic. That's not something that appeals to me. Because to me, it's like, you're going for light skin. Well, there's a lot of women who are light skinned. So to me, it's like, doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't mind people praising or complimenting my skin tone, but that's just one part of myself,